Who do you think you are? Okay, so what happened? They've got this program in the UK. You might not have seen it in America. It might have it in America. I don't know. It's probably not going to work so well in America because the concept is they go over your history. And when we say history in the UK, this is going to, I know in America, right, this is going to surprise you, but we go back like not just 100 years, not just 200 years, but some of us can go back all the way to Christ. In England, in the UK, in Europe, our history does go, you know, we've got recorded history a lot further back, haven't we? And then we went out to America and started America off. So you go in America tracing your history, you come back to Europe with it, don't you? I bet you do. I bet you do, you chuffers. Well, not all of you actually. I bet some of you end up going to Africa with it, don't you? So there's a bit of a awkward moment where we have to talk about that, but I think we've covered it now. I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I was probably, if I had been, I'd have probably been against it. But so anyway, look, all our roots in history are with this stuff, aren't they? So what they do in this program is they go through your family tree. You might not know about it. You probably don't know because your amount of different family tree relatives history, there's probably fucking loads that you don't know about. The people on the research team do it, and then their TV cameras take you and say, look, this is your family tree.
Danny has come to Westminster Abbey to meet Peter O'Donoghue, a herald from the College of Arms and an expert in the pedigree of the oldest families in the land.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, how are you, Peter? All right.
Nice to meet
you. All right. Now, Danny Dyer, it's important to note, he broke on the scene in human traffic. Bit of a London lad, innit? He's called Moth and he deals drugs, innit?
See me? I'm quicker on the draw than Jesse James, my son. Hey? Hey?
Cool.
Actually, it'll get us copyright this one, won't it?
I'll catch you later, mate. Don't go changing, try and please me, all right?
Yeah, nice one, bruv, yeah.
Oh, nice one, brother.
Nice one, brother.
Nice one, brother.
I said, nice, bruv.
Right, so this was a bit of like a culty sort of film, wasn't it? Human Traffic. He was in it. That got him famous. And then after that, he was in like the shit movies after that, like the straight-to-video movies about gangsters. And then he did a TV show about gangsters. Danny Dyer, gangster. I'm meeting the gangsters. I'm
Danny Dyer. Get up to a little bit of mischief. Coventry's most dangerous clubs. Shit. Oh, fuck, mate. Get me arsehole out. Why should I fucking take my club off, mate? Fucking hell. You want me to fucking strip off, do you? Fucking bollocks. For fuck's sake, start bollock fucking naked. Fucking get me fucking bollocks out. I'll fucking do it. Fuck me. See me bollocks, everything's in order. Shot in the fucking head.
So he did it. It's a bit of a weird supercut there, but you know, that's who Danny Dyer is. So he made his name doing that. And then, of course, now he's made his name doing that. He made it into mainstream culture to the point where he could be in EastEnders. EastEnders is like Coronation Street. That's not going to explain it for Americans, is it? It's a soap opera which is like on the BBC. It's mainstream, you know, weeknight telly. Not this rubbish. This is a chuffing advert. It's mainstream weeknight telly. This is just the Americans now who don't know what EastEnders is. So it means you're like cheesy, cliched. Like, you know, it's not exactly the height of, you know, you're not winning an Oscar. It's a soap opera. All of that taken into account, he's now here finding out about his family history. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right. Well, come and sit down and we'll have a talk. Now, you've been learning about
This is about aristocrats. Remember, it's about the aristocrats' descendants.
Cromwell, I gather, your ancestor Thomas Cromwell.
Yeah, my 15 times great-grandfather.
So Thomas Cromwell is his 15 times great-grandfather. That's impressive, isn't it? Thomas Cromwell, 15 times great-grandfather. Of course, like when you consider a family tree, let me just quickly... family tree, 30 generations. Let's put 30 generations and see if you can see how complex. This family tree... This like fan, that first one is 2, then it's 4, then it's 8, then it like, you know, it's like that, what's the word I'm looking for that's the same as COVID, the COVID did it, exponential, it's that exponential growth. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's like 5 generations on that tree. Imagine that 15 times, yeah? Once you've gone 15 times from Cromwell, if your name is not Cromwell, you know, if you're not the direct line, this is the issue. He's 15 times his great-grandfather, but it's not that Cromwell's son is you. It's that your dad's mum's dad's mum's 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 dad's dad's mum's mum's dad is Cromwell. It could be that. It doesn't have to be straight down the male line for this programme to say that he's 15 steps from Cromwell. That's 5 steps. By the time you get 15 steps from Cromwell, there's like fucking... I mean, how many people? It's 15 exponential steps. First generation, 2 kids, right? That's 1 generation. Times 2. Each kid has 2 kids, yeah? Let's just go on that as a rough, because sometimes they have 5 or 6, don't they, in history? But let's just go on that as a rough. So, times 2. Second generation, 4. Each one has 2. 4 people have another... Hang on. Am I doing it doubling every time? Anyway, second one. Third generation times 2. Fourth generation. Fifth generation. Maybe I shouldn't... Hang on. I've done 5 there. Times 2. Times 2, 6. Times 2... 7 times 2, 8 times 2, 9 times 2, 10 times 2, 20 times 2, 21. No, 11 times 2, 12 times 2, 13 times 2, 14 times 2, 15. There we go. 15th generation from Cromwell. There's 130,000 of those descendants, assuming everyone just has 2 children. If you have any more children in a generation, like if there's a generation that has 5 children, those 5 children can have 2 children. It could get bigger. It can get a lot bigger. So it's not that if someone tells you you're 15 steps from Cromwell, that he's your great granddad and you are some way. Like if you told me I was 15 steps from the king, there's 130,000 of us. We're not in line for the throne. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but Danny doesn't really understand this.
So building on that, what we've got here is a scroll which will show you a bit about the history of your family. So here is Gregory Cromwell and his wife Elizabeth Seymour.
And it's not Thomas Cromwell, the famous one. It's a bloke called Gregory Cromwell.
Oh, Elizabeth Seymour, John Seymour, Wentworths, Sir Henry Hotspur Percy, Philippa Plantagenet.
Plantagenet.
Explain to me.
So I don't know if that name Plantagenet.
He doesn't get it, and he feels like an idiot, and it's a bit sad because it's like this is funny actually, isn't it? A way, the way I am, I should be all like, oh, this fucking aristocracy, and like he feels out of place and he doesn't understand. The thing is, I'm down on Danny Dyer about is it's not your level in life where you're born, any of that. It's because he's a bit ignorant. He doesn't know the word Plantagenet because he doesn't know. He hasn't bothered. He's into gangsters, innit? Gangsters being wicked, mate. Take a load of drugs. Like he's not like I don't know. He likes acting and guns. Whatever he's into, it's certainly not been history because he would have known the name Plantagenet. It's royal, isn't it? It's royal. But it's funny the way I'm negative about the aristocrats and the common people now. But like, this is just funny to me. Danny Dyer's ignorance.
Plantagenet, obviously not,
Rings any
because
bell?
I've just said it wrong, so I have no idea.
That, if you follow the line back up to the top, you'll see where that name
Lionel
takes us.
Plantagenet. Edward III.
Edward III, that great medieval king. So Edward III, yes, he's your 22 times great-grandfather. So you are directly descended from King Edward III of England.
Look at his face.
Can't be. Can't be.
Because he doesn't understand. What he's heard there in his brain is Henry III, the king, had a kid, and now he's you. Yeah? Remember what I showed you? That was going back further and further. Remember the calculation we did and that? It don't really mean much. We're all basically related to Moses. Do you know what I mean? Like, after you go through the mill enough times, down the line enough times, we're all related to Moses. Like, it gets silly. We're all related to Attila the Hun. Like, it gets silly. So, it's not that if it was your dad's dad, and you were the first son of the first son of the first son of the first son, you'd be the fucking king. But you're not. That Henry there is like your dad's mums, dad's cousins, mums, not cousins, it's direct lines, dad's mums, dad's mums, 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 dad's mums, mums, dad's mums. Like, you're not, if you're crossing the line like that, it gets a bit, you know, we could all find a connection somewhere that then gets to becoming a straight line. Like, it's a bit silly that, but like, he doesn't understand that, so he thinks what he's heard there is you are directly descended from Edward III. Effectively, you're in line, like you're a prince. You're in line to the throne. It's just a matter of how many people are ahead of you.
A direct descendant from Edward III. So Danny Dyer's right at the bottom of that scroll, and Edward III at the top. It's just stupid, isn't it?
That's great. It's fantastic.
They do all look like male names, but
It's
you don't
quite
know which.
amazing.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It really is.
No, it's not all through the male line. It's through the female lines and male.
I just need to just digest it and get it in my nut, and then I can move on with my life. And I think I'm going to treat myself to a ruff.
What the?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a good look for you.
Just get a massive ruff, just bowl about with it, and you know, if anyone questions it, and then I'll explain to them why I'm wearing a ruff.
That's true. Yeah.
And then they'll have to walk away, won't they? Embarrassed.
Actually, we can go and find out a bit more about Edward III, if you like, further up in the abbey.
Let's have a moment.
Sure.
Just have a moment. Just have a moment to myself. To just a kid from Canning Town, Custom House, and this is my bloodline.
a kid from Canning Town. He's saying, I'm common, I'm royal. He can't get it into his head. He actually thinks he's being inducted into royalty here in some way. He can't get it into his head because he doesn't understand it. It just makes me laugh so much.
Okay, I've had my moment now, let's go.
I've had my moment now, let's go.
Let's go and have a pipe at Edward. It's laughable.
It doesn't feel real, you mean?
Of course it doesn't feel real. It's ridiculous to think somebody of my stature, somebody, you know, from absolutely nothing, and actually my blood is his blood. I can't compute it in my brain. This man's related to me.
His blood, it's not really your blood, but...
Yeah.
This wonderful, powerful man.
Not only are you descended from Edward III, you're descended from all of his royal ancestors, right back to William the Conqueror.
Yeah, in a way, you could, yes. So if his head's already popped with that one first thing, now look what it's not just him, you're descended from all of the royalty ever, mate.
But you were also descended from Henry III, who built this abbey.
But in a way, so are you and so am I. So are all of us. You know, I think you could kind of, if you want to go far enough back through the lines. And the rest of this episode, like, he goes on about it, and like he's saying to his missus about how he thinks he's gonna like.
That is my 22 times great grandfather, Edward III. So basically,
The king.
the king.
King.
The king. And what are you, a prince?
Yeah.
We're blue blood, all right?
No way!
So cop for that. Go on. Let's
We're-
go.
Oh my God! I knew I was a princess.
Right, it's been lovely. It's been a wonderful journey. But can you get off my drive now, please? Paupers. Go on. Get out, Mark. Go on, get out. Go on. As I call.
Like, he's playing it up there, but do you know what I mean? Like, for the rest of the episode, he's just like in cloud nine because he thinks he's descended from aristocracy. Like, he thinks he's a. Okay, Danny. Okay, Danny. Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's on my back burner. That's enough for Firefox now. Let's get back to the world of Mondstadt.